The following is a presentation of Morning Drive Media.
Are we alone? What is already here? Is the thing that goes bump in the night real or imagined? I'm paranormal reporter Nolan Guthrie, and this is Mysteries in the Unexplained on the Napzok Files podcast feed.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Nolan Guthrie, paranormal reporter and director of the Guthrie Learning Center of the Unexplained. I met Ken Napzok while he was a disc jockey for KWBR in Pismo Beach, California in the mid-90s. I was there investigating urban legends like the ghostly White Lady of the Napomo Mesa and the alleged haunting of the historic Rose Victorian Inn, later called the Crystal Rose Inn. From there, a friendship grew over a shared desire to search for Bigfoot. And I'm happy to bring this show, Mysteries in the Unexplained, to the Napzok Files podcast feed once a month, part of the Saturday night special lineup of programming. My guest last time was Riley Calvert, a filmmaker who had a UFO experience in Michigan while making a film. It was a haunting and heart-wrenching and thrilling tale. But this week, we're going a little different. We're not looking out at what is out beyond. We're looking at ourselves and what we are on. My guest today is Gary Gotowski from the group Truth Earthers. Their website, truthearthers.com.org.edu, contains many stories, fact or fiction, about the Earth. Is it round? Is it flat? Are we in a dome? Why would any of this be true? Or why would any of this be hidden? Gary, welcome to Mysteries and the Unexplained.
Thank you, Norman.
It's Nolan Guthrie.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Happy to have you here, Gary. I don't really truthfully know to begin with your truth. I am always here, as we are part of the Guthrie Learning Center of the Unexplained,
Yes.
to search for knowledge, and we don't immediately judge. I want you to consider this a safe place for what is probably a very hard thing for you to talk about, the Earth being flat, or is the Earth round?
Well, Norbert, it's not difficult for me to talk about because this is something that I don't believe. I know this to be true, hence
Okay.
the Truth Earther name that I've given myself and my followers, colleagues, really. So, no, this is not a difficult subject. It might be difficult for you as a what I'd like to call a rounder, a round earther. I'm assuming that you don't adhere to the truth.
I'll keep an open mind. I'm going to tell you I keep an open mind. I do enjoy and believe a lot of what people out there call conspiracy theories.
Don't get me started.
I'm not saying what you're presenting here today. I just like to put an ellipses on some of these statements. But when you say colleagues, and how big is Truth Earthers?
Well, Nelson, our numbers are you're sort of unimportant, to be honest. I mean, what really is in a number when we're talking about obviously the conspiracy theorists out there, the government conspiracy theorists, the operatives that work for the government that call themselves conspiracy theorists would love to mock our numbers, but how can you have significant numbers when you're up against a machine of deceit and lies that the government and organizations like NASA, and for all I know your organization, good sir, out there dispelling the deceits and lies and mistruths about what people who are seeking the truth about this Earth, such as myself and the literally the tens. The numbers of, again, it's irrelevant. There's many people that that follow and adhere to what it is that we know to be the truth.
Am I believing you or hearing you correctly that you believe not only is this information that the Earth is flat being protected by government entities, but that you're calling conspiracy theorists agents of said government?
Oh, operatives, highly paid operatives. operatives. They're very well organized.
Wow.
This is something I do believe. I'm going to toot
Okay.
my own horn,
I toot often.
if you will. No, I'm going to toot
Okay.
my own horn right now. And within my organization,
Yeah.
as you mentioned at the start of the show, my name is Gary, and I am known Gotowski, and my friends, my colleagues, my followers, the truthers, earthers, they call me Go-To Gary.
Go-To Gary.
Go-To Gary, because I am the go-to resource for all things truth. Earther, truthearther.com.org.edu. Now, that being said,
Right.
I know and have it on good faith and good knowledge, which is why I'm not trying to be contentious with you.
You're just tooting
I'm tooting as we speak.
your own horn.
I'm tooting
Okay.
my own horn when I say that I don't trust you. This is a broadcast medium that I do not adhere to.
It's just in a studio,
If that's what you want to call this. I have no idea where the funding comes from for this very nice apparatus that looks like a fuzzy bum tickler in front of me.
It could be used as that.
I suppose.
Funding from crowd donations, crowdfunding,
And
supporters.
Yes, well, there's a fine line between supporters, colleagues, and followers, and government operatives, which is who these conspiracy theorists in my mind are. They are out there to give all of us who are out to spell the truth a bad name.
Gary, look, while
I'm getting angry here.
No,
I need to have a little. Excuse me.
Take a swig of water there. I noticed, I should note, you did not take the water I offered to you. You brought in a bottle of water yourself, perhaps not trusting my source of water.
How could I possibly?
I understand all this stuff. I do believe that the creature known commonly as Bigfoot, it does exist. It has been hidden by many who have found it, and those who have found it have been whisked away with their truths hidden. So I understand where you're coming from. I can offer no proof to you that I don't work for the government, other than to tell you I don't. And do you feel as though, let's start here. When did you first come to the conclusion in your mind that the Earth was not round as presented at many, science fairs in 7th grade and many books, pictures from the moon? I am wary of the moon landing, but I still can understand that some of the pictures from above do make it look round. Where did you first come to this conclusion?
Well, round or flat. Have you ever been on top of a roof?
Yes, just last week I was changing my birds' newspapers.
Right. And when you're up there, do you see anything curving?
Sure, but that's...
excuse me. Do you see anything curving?
I mean, it looks as though to me, my untrained eye would make me believe that the horizon does stretch out beyond my capacity to see. But I look at planes, and I do wonder: they look to be flying out at an angle? Maybe they're seeing or experiencing the curve at a higher level than I am.
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever been in an airplane?
I have. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you absolutely certain that what you stepped into was not some sort of one of these fancy 3D, 4D experiences like at a common theme park where you get in and they love to let you think that what you're looking at is a window to the outside world when in fact it is a very high definition. I'm talking maybe 780p. Maybe interlaced. TV screen that is oval in shape. And when you look out what you think is an airplane window, you're just looking at a screen and you've never even left LaGuardia.
I've flown out of LaGuardia. Do you, so what you're telling me is that air travel...
Have you flown out of LaGuardia?
I have.
Or did you simply get onto a government craft?
Yes.
I am doing air quotes for the people who can't see what I'm doing right now.
Right.
I don't want to be someone who sits here and toots his own horn, but this is not my first rodeo, so I know to invite the people who can't see what we're doing right now, because the truth is in seeing. Is it in seeing things? Which is why when I ask you, kind sir, if you got on your roof and don't see a curve, you get onto an airplane that you tell me you've gotten on. I'm getting angry.
You're leaning forward a lot in an aggressive tone. I'm fine with it.
Ned, I have had about enough of this.
Nolan,
you need to let me finish speaking.
I'm not going to stop you off. But are you telling me, Gary? Are you telling
you're
me
going to dovetail into something else? That's fine. Distract me.
Are you saying that air travel is nothing more than the submarine ride at Disneyland that you get in, and the illusion that you are going underwater is created by the park Imagineers, and that is what air travel is and has been forever? I can understand now a high definition screen in this day and age, but my first plane flights, I remember flying out of Newark, and people were smoking and drinking whiskey, and those were the pilots. It was a different time. So are you saying that technology existed before we knew it?
Oh, you wake up.
I mean, I have studied Bob Lazar in Area 51, and I do believe.
Good for you.
I do believe some of this stuff. I do believe
fine. That's fine.
Could this be the reverse, the technology that was reverse engineered and placed on commercial flights in the 50s and 60s?
Well, if you think that just because right now we have access to small devices that fit into our pockets that allow us to access some sort of World Wide Web, some sort of internet, if you will, and that this is just, it just suddenly happened today.
Sure.
That it hasn't been, that the government hasn't finally decided that they're done with this technology. So why don't we just let that turd roll downhill to the common man, and we'll just keep the lies going.
And use it for movie trailer reaction videos.
For everything, making you think you're getting news.
I know for a certifiable fact that all of the internet ties back to an underground junction underneath the Denver airport. I do believe that.
Well, there's a lot about the shape of that airport.
Right.
The tunnels.
Yes, the tunnels.
Yes, there's...
I do agree with that there, Gary, Go-To Gary. Do you prefer to be called Go-To Gary or Gary?
Well, my friends call me Go-To Gary. Okay, you can call me Gary.
I understand what you're saying, sir. I understand. So you came, what age did you first come to this conclusion? What age did you think, though, I've been lied to?
Well, I suppose from a very early age, look, when I fall down, do I just keep rolling somewhere? Why do like, so as a child,
right,
I would put on, now I had to borrow, I had to borrow roller skates.
Okay.
I always put them back where I found them. But I had to borrow roller skates, and I would, maybe not tell the kids in the neighborhood that I was borrowing them, but that's something else. Right. And so I would stand on a sidewalk,
right,
and nothing would happen. Now, if I'm on something that is round,
you feel the skates
I would
go.
Start rolling. I would roll downhill, good sir. I would roll, and I would not stop rolling until the day ended.
Until you hit the ocean.
Until I hit, if you even believe in that.
The ocean? You think the ocean is a construct of the government?
I believe there are a lot of things that we have been shown and led to think are something that actually is not. Why? Let's go with your little ocean theory here, water boy.
Your hand doesn't have to get that
Let's
close
go with
to
your
my face.
ocean theory.
Right, okay.
If I was to roll into the ocean.
Right. On your skates or just rolling down?
You can choose the medium of your choice. Skateboard, roller skates, one of these fancy scooters these kids are on all the time. Or
Subaru without a motor pushed by
Thank you very much. Why do I not just keep rolling, or even better, if I was able to float onto this, if my rolling apparatus suddenly turned into a boat,
a pontoon rollerblade.
Rollerblade. I never rollerbladed. I'm not. well, I don't want to use a term that would be unflattering.
There was 2 years on the West Coast that I rollerbladed a lot.
Yeah, well, we don't have to go there. I didn't realize that was.
No, that's fine.
I guess we are in California.
It was college. It was college.
Yeah.
I did rollerblade for a time.
Did you need the money or what? Why would
I was,
any grown man? Anyway, I don't like where this is going.
It was a nice thing to try.
If your rollerblades, water boy, could float, why, once you got out there, would you not, if we were on a round globe, why would you not just keep also moving and floating down towards the bottom and around and circle? Why is it that you just go out straight on the water?
But what do you
Answer me that.
I don't.
Why do you just keep going straight?
I think it's a question of, are we on a tennis ball or on a basketball? And there might be more area, that's wider than.
The question isn't, are we on a tennis ball or a basketball?
No, some people think we're on a flat dome.
We're on a frisbee.
We're on a frisbee.
Yes, I'm sorry to use. I understand that they might not be a sponsor. We're on a flying disc, just to make sure that we're safe.
Okay. No, my producer's saying Frisbee's not a sponsor.
Thank you, whammo.
Nor will be, which is a problem.
Well, I apologize for that. I'm not trying to sabotage.
No, that's not your problem. I had an
right.
incident at a Santa Cruz Frisbee golf course that probably precludes them from sponsoring me. But okay, so are you? I know that this is probably a controversial topic. Within the flat Earth movement, there seems to be many players and many sides to the conversation. I understand Mark Sargent is sometimes considered the godfather.
He's a hack.
You are one of the ones who believe he's a government agent.
Oh my goodness, Nelson, listen to me. If the man's name includes the word sergeant, I am
authoritative name. Yeah.
I am to believe he doesn't work for the U.S. military.
Some people think he's a Warner Brothers executive. Math Powerland thinks this as well.
Really? Okay, mathematics, another tool of the government to try to make us believe certain absurdities such as 2 + 2
I do believe,
equals 4.
There is the co-host with Mark Sargent, Patricia Steer. Her name is clearly a code to steer people.
As in to steer you.
CIA's in her name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we can see eye to eye
But
on
I think that might have more to do with assassinations, government plots. But as far as here, I'm not Gary. I know we're not friends.
Yes.
I'm not sitting here denying anything or fighting you against it. I want to know there seems to be not even a united front within the flat earthers. Some believe, Mark Sargent believes we are on a dome, that there's walls of ice at the end of our planet.
I'll allow that.
You'll allow that. You'll agree that.
Yes.
But why? So you think he's putting other information out there that does not agree with truth earthers?
Truth earthers. truthearthers.com.org.edu. Thank you, Nipsey. So now this is something that's interesting. Yes, there is a contentious element to those of us who are being lumped into this.
You don't like
category.
being lumped into one group
I don't
of
like.
crazy.
Look, myself and my. Literally, on one hand, I can count the number of colleagues, followers. It's maybe not every digit, but I'm just it's irrelevant.
3. Okay,
I didn't get that's your number. Now, excuse me, I'm just going to simply say this. I'm just going to simply say
this podcast is downloaded by hundreds of people.
The math doesn't add up
to what
when
math?
sergeant and steer, which is another word for a cow, I believe, like a male cow. I believe so. In other words, bull.
I drive past that farm up on the 5.
The math doesn't add up.
What math?
Sergeant, you're not getting the.
I'm playing Gary. I'm trying to track.
I'm being
trying to
clever.
track it. Yeah.
Okay, you said. Okay, bear with me now. You said that math guy.
Math Powerland.
Math Powerland, right?
Yeah.
And
Patricia Steer.
Polly Steer.
Yeah.
Polly Steer.
And Mark Sargent, the so-called godfather of the flat earth movement.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So you really don't understand this? The math doesn't add up.
Okay.
That sergeant is trying to steer you to a load of bull.
You think all of their names...
That's actually a bumper sticker that I have that's available on our website.
Is it selling
The math.
A lot.
Well, I would say a lot is a term that I believe the government uses.
Puts emphasis
in
on
great numbers. And when they say I don't have a lot of followers,
right?
So I don't really adhere to the use of a lot when it's selling.
Gary, let me ask you this question.
It's selling like hotcakes.
Hotcakes
are flat.
Well, yeah,
and discus in shape, like a frisbee.
Right.
And that is no different. Why, when you pour pancake batter, hotcakes, do they not just start spilling over the edges of the pan because we're on a round earth? Why isn't it just spilling outside of your house?
What do you feel about mac and cheese balls?
I'm getting angry.
What do you feel about mac and cheese balls? Do they upset
They're
you?
delicious. I think I've had a few at an Applebee's.
Do balls upset you?
Most balls upset me.
Okay.
I don't want to toot my own.
But balls, it's all right.
I'm getting upset now.
You're getting angry. And your face is red and you're choking. And
I'm having a hard time with this right now.
Right.
I don't want to toot my own horn, sir.
Please don't toot your own horn.
But balls. Balls tend to set me off.
As they would, sir. Let me ask you, you talk about math, you talk about things not adding up there.
I'm sorry, I got a little...
No, it's okay.
I got a little out of control there for a second. I was just getting a little worked up.
I see you're taking your blood pressure medicine, and I think that's good.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question. Let me ask... you need to... We could press pause.
I'm going to be fine.
Okay.
I'm going to be fine.
Okay. I do believe that if there's it's fair to question everything. I think everything should be questioned. And I, for instance, say the Kennedy assassination, a famous conspiracy theory on who did it. I believe many times when you present some of these pieces of evidence or questions, even just questions in a conspiracy, there's sometimes that the answer isn't clear. I feel that NASA has provided some clear answers about from physicists and astrophysicists and Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't know if he's an official
government operative
employee of them.
Actor.
He's an entertaining.
He's a Warner Brothers
entertaining
Hollywood actor.
Yeah. You think it's all a hoax there? Do you think? But I think they provided some pretty clear evidence, facts and figures and formulas, and even pictures the curvature of what I believe to be the curvature of Earth from space. And you don't believe that? You don't?
Well, no, space. What is space to you?
Space
a photograph of something that you stood on the ground and watched these airplanes taking off, and these rockets that we see, and you don't think for a moment that is simply a projection.
I can't say for sure it isn't.
Exactly.
I often
So then why can you say for sure that you've seen convincing evidence of these photographs from space, from these government agencies like NASA?
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean...
Do you really understand?
I thought I did.
Or do you just choose to believe like a sheep? The math...
You're making me think.
Doesn't add up.
It does, but there was a test...
Nathan, listen to me. The math doesn't add up. The bull is steering us towards a sergeant. That's a bumper sticker. That the math doesn't add up. That the steering of bulls and where they go, it's a sergeant. I'm getting confused here.
It seems like your math might not add up sometimes. Do you go to these conventions? Do you go to these conferences sometimes held in common area rooms at Applebee's and hotel lobbies? Do you go to these conventions?
Absolutely not. That means that you are subjecting yourself. Yeah. You are becoming susceptible to government tracking. You are becoming someone who is basically, again, like yourself, with all due respect.
What does that
becoming a sheep?
I mean,
Why belong? Why belong to anything? You should be independent in your thoughts and in your, not beliefs, but in your truth. It is your truth, and if the minute you feel the need to seek it out in anybody else, you are, at that point, just ripe little bits of clay for the government to mold into a sheep, into a follower, and the math does not add up.
Right.
That the sheep
Say that.
are coming home with their balls of clay to toot their horns.
And you don't like the balls.
And I don't like balls on sheep.
No, well, a lot of people don't. Good delicatessen treat as well there.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah. Did you watch the event on national television? I know what you're probably going to say was a construct of our own minds. The event of where the gentleman went up in his space chair, sponsored by an energy drink, and jumped out. You know, because it didn't seem to me that as he came straight down. Do you need some of your water that you brought, not mine? Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The question, when he went up there in his space chair, sponsored by an energy drink, and jumped out of it, I watched live with much of the world. In the shots, because he was tweeting from up there, I saw it. You feel that was in a Santa Clarita studio, soundstage, a famous Hollywood director making this?
Well, just like Mr. Fancy Pants, Neil deGrasse Tyson is an actor. I would say a darn good one at that.
He's
There's a
entertaining.
lot. He does. I dare I say there have been moments where that man has made me laugh.
Okay. Because of his content or his beliefs?
Mostly in just, he has a good delivery.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but
Sure.
I may have done a little thespianizing in my earlier days.
Okay. It's not far from rollerblading.
So I can understand what good... it was a term they used in comedy, and it's something that Mr. deGrasse Tyson says it's a term they use in comedy.
When you're on the mark?
No, it's
when you're funny.
It's that it's
crazy make-em-ups?
It's that it's everything. It's hang on.
Yeah.
Timing. That's the word.
That's the one. Yeah,
timing.
okay.
So he's got really good timing. Now, his message is absolutely absurd. That's usually what I'm laughing at more than the timing. But
and he's very dismissive of a lot of these kind of things.
So he is no better than an actor, though, than the gentleman who claims that he went up into his little lawn chair with his tinfoil suit on and jumped out of a. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah,
right?
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. I think it was more than a lawn chair. I just remember watching that on live television, thinking, even if I do believe that some of the moon shots, the moon landing shots, are not what they appear to be or made to appear to be. But I'm watching this
complete
guy.
And total fabrication. It was done in a Santa Clarita, wherever it is. We've been fed these lies. Of, it was.
I just say Santa Clarita
stage.
because NCIS shoots up there. And it's one of my favorite programs. I love Mark Harmon, but
who doesn't love Mark Harmon?
The sexiest man alive in 1986.
You're talking my language now.
Yeah, I rollerbladed 86 and 87. So, look, I going back to the flat Earth movement, which isn't a unified front here, and I understand that. I know people like Mark Sargent believe we are in a dome. We talked about that. What do you specifically? You seem to react positive to that. Do you think it is, what's at the ends of this Earth then? What if we search, what would we find?
Well, Neil, I agree with Mr. Sargent, though I do believe that's where the government, being crafty and conniving, can kind of sneak in little bits of truth. Right. I do believe that there is, in fact, a military base that is essentially surrounding us on this Earth.
On the edge,
on the edges.
Snow-covered military base.
Snow-covered military bases that encircle this Frisbee.
Is this
whammo Frisbee?
Right. whammo disc. Are you referring to what many believe to be Operation Snow Cone, which is a base set up on the in the North and South Pole, which you believe would be the same thing, just stretched around?
Yes, I think. Operation Snow Cone or Big Stick or Sidewalk Bar or Neapolitan or 5150, whatever you want to call it.
All great choices.
These are Eskimo Pie, Operation Eskimo Pie. That was a portion of my childhood.
Right.
I don't want to go back and talk about that. But
I would agree. Definitely
yes.
don't want to.
No, there are government aid and military bases that are there to make sure that if anyone gets close enough to the edge, that they don't discover.
Right.
You ever seen, speaking of movies, there is a little known film. It was an indie that a lot of unknown actors. Sadly,
my own Private Idaho.
It was called The Truman Show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've heard that reference to flat earthers
and it was
before.
about Harry Truman. I believe. I believe that's what it was. I have not actually seen the film.
It's close.
But I had friends tell me that The Truman Show was about Harry Truman.
Yeah.
And the fact that he had convinced everyone that there was a dome around the world.
Right.
And that the world was flat, and therefore Harry Truman is my hero.
I can understand that.
So
you feel it's a dome. Who put the dome there?
Harry Truman put the dome.
That's fair. Okay.
In an effort to protect the government secrets. That's where I am a fan of Harry Truman. I am not a fan of the man.
No,
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Which that's a pretty highfalutin concept that I don't expect you to keep up with.
I'm having trouble, to be blunt. Do you feel? I know there's some call for truth earthers and flat earthers to put their money where their mouth is, so to speak, and form teams, maybe some ships, sailboats, whatnot, and head out to these regions and find the end. But
Norman, again, if you were to sit there and get a group together to do any of this, how do you trust anything?
Well, if you had a group of, say, what do you have, your 2 or 3 truth earther listeners?
Did I just triple in my numbers? Have you seen my?
Oh, I thought I haven't checked
updated.
I went to your
.com.org.edu.
I went to your
Truth Earthers. Truthy Earthers.
You have a MySpace page. I went to that.
And did you happen to notice if I've gotten any followers?
I thought it was up to 3, but I could have It could be.
That would be 3 more. 3 more than I had yesterday. So I'm trending, as they say.
Yeah, you're definitely going viral regionally.
This is good.
But if you were to take some of these listeners and say get a helicopter, rent a helicopter,
which doesn't exist. We don't fly.
Okay, a boat.
Okay.
There's some you've seen ships. Every year I go down to Newport Beach to the light festival they have on boats. I've seen the boats go by, assuming they're not on cars, on rails under the water.
I'm familiar.
Okay. Take a boat and find the end of the end, even if it's just this wall of ice with a military base on it. How come that hasn't been accomplished and achieved?
Well, isn't it a convenient thing that we lose things at sea all the time?
Okay.
Right. We lose lives.
Right.
We lose material goods.
My uncle lost his aunt on a cruise. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
My aunt, not his wife. Yeah.
Exactly. I did the math.
Thank you.
Now look, isn't it perfect?
Yeah.
Isn't it one neat little package that the government, who has this dome around and they don't want us to get to the edge, so they put the military bases there. Anybody who is audacious enough, who has the what's that around the fortitude, the
circumference.
I can't. I know it's a sphere. I can't. Anybody who has this. There's some term that is something that, man, that guy's got big sphere. I can't. Anyway, balls.
Right.
Anybody
which you don't like,
who has the balls,
right,
to go and challenge this government,
right,
which is a worldwide government, mind you, not just the American government.
I mean,
this is a worldwide government organization
I can get behind
that has military bases
I don't think
set up at
Switzerland's
the
involved.
edge of everything.
Okay,
and
it's
if
one
anybody
base.
gets, oh yes,
One business
one
card.
massive round base.
Okay.
Well, not round; it's circular.
Circular.
And it is there to make sure that anybody who has the balls to challenge them doesn't come back. And lo and behold,
Have there been?
do we hear stories of, an entire ship was lost. It's the Russian submarine hasn't been heard from.
You talking about the Malaysian flight that never returned? Many people believe that's theft. That's big theft.
That's just something where I think the ride broke and it might have burned everybody or something. But there's no flying. There was no one in the air for that.
You think it's
you have
ride
to be able to
that broke.
fly
like the
through the
Utopia cars
air.
at Disneyland not working.
Look, have you ever been on soaring over California?
I have.
Did you actually leave Disneyland when you did that?
I did feel.
Thank you very much.
I felt.
If this
I
wasn't
smelled
on
the
a
pine trees.
stand, I would drop this mic.
Which is what you'd use gravity to drop it to the microphone.
Oh, gravity. What okay, Smarty. What's gravity to you? Let's go there. Let's go there on this bed. We're all falling towards the center of this earth, right?
Right. You don't believe in gravity.
How fast does gravity pull objects down toward the center of the earth? You don't on your fancy little...
I got a pen right here. I could throw it on the carpet.
All right. For the folks at home who can't, he's dropping a pen. It just fell to the floor.
I don't have the measurement of that.
Now then,
More than an African swallow, but yeah.
Why am I not just constantly being pulled down? If that pen was to fall to the floor, I'm on stable ground. I'm on a very nice chair. Thank you for having a padded chair.
Yeah.
I
got it at a garage sale. Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here.
But if you were to leap up, I think that's how gravity
I would
works.
just be jumping.
If you were to jump and come crashing down the ground, it would be
I don't come crashing down. Once I jump, I am going faster than 32 feet per second in that moment.
Is that
the earth is not round. It is flat. It is moving upward at a constant rate of 32 feet per second. That pen that you just dropped was falling at 32 feet per second. And what was happening is this room, this earth, this flat earth that we are on came up to meet the pen.
I didn't see that.
The pen did not drop.
I didn't see that.
The earth and this room and everything that we are on was rising up at 32 feet per second. And because you let go of it, it fell. I am doing air quotes into the microphone for the folks who can't see me at home. It fell to the floor when, in fact, we rose up to meet the pen. The math does not add up to the penitentiary of the mind that is full of sheep's balls.
When do you...
That is a bumper sticker that is available at my website.
Truthearthers.com.org.edu.
Thank you.
You got it. Do you feel that NASA, what is NASA or any world government, and I do believe there are world government entities, what information, what's the benefit to hiding this information from the public? I understand the burying of alien proof. I understand that would scare people. Fear of impending invasions. I understand Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, conspiracies of murders, assassinations. The Earth being flat, what does that gain them?
I don't know.
You have you thought of it in any way?
No, not really.
You believe NASA is a?
I believe NASA is out to deceive us all.
Okay.
I believe the world government that is surrounding this Earth is out to deceive us all. But to what end? I don't know. I would suspect it has something to do with the almighty dollar.
That's, generally, you have a point there. Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, you do.
Money. Hang on, let me. Do you have another one of those pens?
Yeah, I got a
Okay, hang on. I just
got a pen here. Write that down.
So what was the?
The almighty dollar drives. Definitely drives.
Almighty dollar.
Right.
drives
You can blog that.
the math that doesn't ball up into a sergeant's sheep
Steer.
tooting
Yeah.
spheres.
You're horned.
I'm horny.
Right.
Got it. That's going to be a bumper sticker.
That's a long one. That's probably not going to be as a good seller for you, but happy to contribute to it there. Gary Gotowski.
Go to Gary. Yes, thank you.
Go to Gary. Gary Gotowski is here from truthearthers.com.org.edu, and you can look up I looked up your website. It seems you can do a lot with GeoCities, and you did the most you could do.
Well, and
with
Windows
GeoCities.
3.1 is a very effective operating system, I've come to find.
It definitely.
Service Pack 2, though Service Pack 1 was utter garbage.
Not so much. Yeah, I got you there. I don't know if I'm convinced, but I definitely know that I don't have all the answers, Gary. And I appreciate you coming on Mysteries and the Unexplained here on the Napzok Files podcast feed to talk more about this and share what you believe is your truth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And remember,
You don't like balls.
timing
Is everything. Yes. Okay. That was fun. Gary, maybe you can come on back. I've love to talk to you some more after you work out some of those math. Are you okay? What's going on? You all right? You need more of that water? I'm sorry. Is that water? I should have smelled it before. Gary Gotowski was our guest here today. As I said, you can go to his website, truthearthers.com.org.edu, to get more information on his cause and his beliefs and perhaps his continued search for the answers or the truth, which is something we definitely believe here on Mysteries and the Unexplained and at the Guthrie Learning Center of the Unexplained. You can find more information by just searching online for our locations around the country. We have little learning annexes in many of America's greatest malls. I'm Nolan Guthrie, and with special thanks to Ken Napzok for letting me on the Napzok Files podcast feed. The podcast is fueled greatly by his Patreon supporters, like our executive producer supporters, David Ham, Thomas Risling, Sir Thomas Sital, Lethal Logan X, Matthew Simon, Bador, Matthew Thompson, Tamor and his brother Abdul, Donald Long, Nathan Ovendale, and Zach Anderson. If you want to support, you can go to kennapzok.com/Patreon. That is where our funds come from, Gary. That's one of your questions you had earlier.
I don't want to toot.
You just... okay, that's not a horn. Okay, sir. This is a closed... we had to soundproof it by closing the vents here, sir. Okay. We're gonna...
I don't want to toot.
We're... okay. Okay.
You should see the look on your face.
Sir.
Oh, you should see the look on your face.
I don't know what...
oh, the truth is out there.
Is that sauerkraut, sir? Sir. I'm Nolan Guthrie. We'll see you down the line on Mysteries and the Unexplained. Oh, my God.
What are your prime directives?